Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Movie Lessons. Today we got something going on that's going to be a little bit funky. We're going to blow your mind. We're actually going to talk about scripting, and we're going to have a little bit longer episode than normal. So I'll call it a holiday special, if you will, not like the Star Wars one. But what we are going to do is we're going to show you some work that James and I have done over the years, and we're going to talk to you about scripting, about the different acts, Act 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to talk about the difference between a short film and a trailer. In order to do that, we actually want to show you some of our work, as I said. So, without further ado, let's get to it.
Okay, so as you're probably noticing, there's a lot of pixelation right here. That is because we are blurring out some information that you're not supposed to be seeing.
Yeah, this is to keep people employed. Let's just say, if you want to know what it is, come to Orlando.
Yes. So anyway, the first shot that we see was basically a series of layered shots. That was a photograph that we'd broken up into three distinct segments. The first one was the background, which was the sky, leading up into the water tower, which then leads into the bushes, and we were able to kind of move the frames. So that is my first kind of like animated shot in regards to the movie. Now, again, beginning with the process of movie trailers, you have that 2-act process compared to the 3-act trailer, or the 3-act process. So as you've got the introduction of the scenario where this amusement park ride is cursed and different things are happening. As you can see in the movie, different things are happening out of what would be sequential order, but to emphasize what the spoken points are supposed to be. Whether there's a lot of action moving on, or whether there is just more closer to the narrative. And as this was all being filmed, this ended up being filmed over a series of nights to accommodate not only everyone else's schedules, but also to accommodate the filming. This was the first one that I ended up changing the camera on, so this was shot on a Canon T2i, but was my first experience with having to work on focus instead of autofocus, having depth of field for it, and also with a lot of this I was able to capture a lot more scenes because of the fact that we were able to use lights that were brought in. But we also ended up kind of changing the color, or changing the color timing for it to try to get more of a movie-like feel by either warm in certain areas or cold in certain areas. We were also able to achieve that by using gels in the lights and kind of editing everything to where it was a high-paced, action shot. Yeah, and you get to see a lot of things here. That it was the first attempt at having to do anything with this type of effects and these scenes. So to me, it appeared a little bit rough. I'm sure to a lot of other people it appeared a little bit rough. But you know what? It got the point across. It shared what it was supposed to be. And there's some points that when a lot of people are watching this who are fans of this particular theme park, they do get a little bit of stuff. But again, we're kind of slightly blurred into what we're seeing here. So now we begin the second portion,
the sequel. So here we go. This is the last one we're going to show you today, guys. This is the sequel trailer to the last film that we showed you the trailer of. Now, these are all movies that we never created, and there's a reason. The trailers were good. The movies would be very difficult to get the property rights and location rights. And one of the things you want to keep in mind when shooting anything is going to be location, 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 aside from script, and casting.
Now, the benefits that I had over this over a lot of other films that I've worked on were the fact that, number one, this was intended only to be a trailer, so I only had to shoot what was needed. I had a clear image of my mind, and being able to portray that image to the actors and everybody else really worked out well, because at that point I could go ahead and take my time to set up lighting, which, like for example, you see right here is a good example of 3-point lighting, as well as also using the available lighting and the available actors. So that being said, we had a chance to at least kind of play with certain things for a little while in regards of what type of shots we were going to take, or at least slightly change the camera. But the pacing pretty much was locked down and set, and that's kind of really what you want to have with a movie. You want to have a concrete idea. Now, I didn't use storyboards for this, but what I did use was I used a script and a shot list. The script itself was going to go ahead and tell what the dialogue was, as well as some movements for the actors. The shot list was more for me and the crew to go ahead and say, you know, I want a low camera angle here, I want a sweeping camera movement over here, I want a lockdown shot over here. So that way I could go ahead and establish to somebody else who is setting something up, hey, can you go ahead and start this scene for me? I'm going to put the camera right here. And that's kind of what we did at certain points. We were able to tell the actors to practice and someone else to go ahead and start setting up the lighting while we were finishing up another scene, which helped things move a lot faster. And you can kind of see with this, again, still follows the 2-act narrative of a movie trailer, but again, not in any type of sequential order, just moving for action, 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 very low on the dialogue, but it gives a sensation of, you know, as the action keeps building, the cuts keep getting shorter, the camera keeps moving faster, there's more and more, you know, everything, and that's really kind of what we wanted to portray as you build up this type of crescendo of, and here comes the 3rd act of, and it doesn't happen.
One of the things you notice here at the end, we're also reintroducing all the characters, so if you were to see this movie, you remember who they are, you remember who the major players are. But that's pretty much what we got for you guys. One thing to keep in mind moving forward, still focus on all 3 of your acts. Make sure you've thought it all out, and everything should work fine for you. Alright guys, so that covers pretty much everything, and you can see what we would definitely not call our masterwork, but all work in progress. And it goes through the whole thing with scripting and timing, and really the lesson at the end of the day, learn from what you've done. Watch your stuff, learn how to make yourself better. It's the only way you can do it.
Pretty much practice does make perfect. That's the one thing you can take away from all of this. But also, listen to the advice of others who have done it before, because they're going to tell you what you don't have to do. So, we hope you enjoyed this episode. We're going to be taking a break over the holiday period, but we will be back in January. We're going to start a new schedule, which will be 2 episodes every month. And we are going to throw in a couple DIY episodes amongst there. So you're going to catch episodes of different types of builds for the camera types, how to make your own dollies and tripods, heavy-duty stuff, as well as, more importantly, costumes, props, things that we're going to need for this movie project. It's a very ambitious film. It's a series of short films all thrown together into one massive film. So
basically, James and I sat together. We had a crazy idea when we started shooting this project, and figured out this is actually the best way for you guys and for us to learn something out of the whole thing. So we're actually really excited about what we're going to have being produced over the next couple months, and we're going to show you bit by bit. It's going to be a lot of behind the scenes for you guys, and if everything pans out correctly, do a series of behind the scenes, show you finished product for Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and each one of these little short films we shoot. And at the end, put it all together, and that's Movie Lessons of the movie. So, happy holidays from us to you. Hope everything goes well and everyone stays safe. See you guys next time.